gonna stop. To the top, to the top. Ain't never gonna stop. Never gonna keep me down. Still the one that's standing now. Destiny is calling me. Go down in history. Every day I fight to be legendary. Fly high, or will I fall? Legends made when faith is strong. No time to bleed. I'm conquering. Pushing the pain, I'm up for the prize. Some people wanna turn and run, but the strong rise under the gun. Top to the top, ain't never gonna stop. To the top, to the top, ain't never gonna stop. Never gonna keep me down. Still the one that's standing now. Destiny is calling me. Go down in history. Every day I fight to be legendary. Every day I fight to be wings are made to fly, made to fly. Fears are born to die, born to die. Pushing through the pain, through the pain. Pushing through, breaking through, whatever it takes, what I gotta do. Giving my all, giving all that I got. Never will stop till I get to the top. Top to the top, ain't never gonna stop. To the top, to the top, ain't never gonna stop. Never gonna keep me down. Still the one that's standing now. Destiny is calling me. Go down in history. Every day I fight to be legendary. Never gonna keep me down. Still the one that's standing now. Destiny is calling me. Go down in history. Every day I fight to be
chance, this is the moment you've waited for. You've been searching in the dark, your sweat soaking through the floor. And buried in your bones, there's an ache that you can't ignore. Taking your breath, stealing your mind, and all that was real is left behind. Don't fight it, it's coming for you, running at you. It's only this moment, don't care what can gather. Your fever dream, can't you see, getting closer. Just surrender, cause you feel the feeling taking over. It's fire, it's freedom, it's flooding open. It's a picture in the pulpit and your blind devotion. There's something breaking at the brick of every wall, it's holding all that you know. So tell me, do you want to go? Where it's covered in all the colored lights, where the runaways are running the night. Impossible comes true, it's taking over you. We light it up, we won't come down, and the sun can't stop us now. Watching it come true, it's taking over you. Colossal, we come, these renegades in the ring, where the lost get found and the crown of the circus king. Don't fight it, it's coming for you, running at you. It's only this moment, don't care what comes after. It's blinding, outshining anything that you know. Just surrender, cause you're coming and you wanna go. Where it's covered in all the colored lights, where the runaways are running the night. Impossible comes true, intoxicating you. We light it up, we won't come down, and the sun can't stop us now. Watching it come true, it's taking over you. It's everything you ever want, it's everything you ever need, and it's here right in front of you. This is where you wanna be. It's everything you ever want, it's everything you ever need, and it's here right in front of you. This is where you wanna be. This is where you wanna be. When it's covered in all the colored lights, when the runaways are running the night, impossible comes true, it's taking over you. This is the greatest show. We light it up, we won't come down, and the sun can't stop us now. Watching it come true, it's taking over you. This is the greatest show. It's covered in all the colored lights, where the runaways are running the night. Impossible comes true, it's taking over you. This is the greatest show. We light it up, we won't come down, and the walls can't stop us now. Watching it come true, it's taking over you. Cause everything you want is right in front of you, and you see the impossible is coming true, and the walls can't stop us now.
If you smell what the rock is cooking. The rock says, the rock says. The rock says, the rock.
to me, they understand, they talk to me. You got your rules and your religion, all designed to keep you safe. But when rules start getting broken, you start questioning your faith. I have a voice that is my savior, hates to love and loves to hate. I have a voice that has the knowledge and the power to your fate. I hear voices crying, I see heroes dying, I taste blood that's drying, I feel tension rising. I hear voices in my head, they counsel me, they understand, they talk to me. They talk to me. They tell me things that I will do. They show me things I'll do to you. They talk to me.
Hello and welcome to the WWE Wrestling Talk Show with Lisa Rock Jones and
Sean Randy Smith as we bring you our reactions to last Sunday's Backlash.
or we could just simply say the Backlash to Backlash.
Pretty much so. The original venue, as we said in our pre-show, was going to be from Kansas City, Missouri, but due to a certain little COVID-19 pandemic, it was moved to the Performance Center.
We have 7 matches in total. 8 technically, but one of which was moved over to the pre-show, and that match was the United States Championship match.
As Apollo Crews defended his championship against Andrade.
Andrade got his rematch from beating Angel Garza and Kevin Owens in a triple threat match.
Just to make sure, Kevin Owens was on commentary for that match, while Angel Garza and Selena Vega accompanied Andrade to the ring.
So we're not going to say too much about this match, simply because it was a pre-show match and very predictable.
As the winner of the match
Because in the conclusion of the match saw Apollo Crews do the, standing somersault type thing?
Yeah, something like that.
The move that helped him win the championship onto Andrade, and for Angel Garza to pop up on the ring apron to cause a distraction to the referee, only to eat a stunner from Kevin Owens for his troubles. This would allow Apollo to hit Andrade with a spin-out powerbomb to retain the United States Championship and keep rolling with that. And also, this would continue to tease the tension between Garza and Andrade.
Yes, it would.
The main card opened up with the triple threat match for the Women's Tag Team Championship. Now,
the Golden Role Models, as they're now calling themselves, in the Women's Tag Team Champions, Bayley and Sasha Banks, defended their championships against the Twisted Sisters of Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross, and against the Iconics of Billie Kay and Peyton Royce.
Now, this triple threat match has some very interesting rules to it.
It does.
In a classic triple threat style, only one member of each team is legal in the ring at any one time, and you can only tag in your own partner. Whilst in some matches you can tag anyone at any time.
But not in this one.
I've seen better matches out of these teams. 2 of them in particular.
Of course.
But after some back and forth action, Alexa Bliss would hit Twisted Bliss on Peyton Royce, only for Sasha Banks to get into the ring and hit a roll-up onto Alexa Bliss, which would keep her shoulders down for the 3 count, allowing Bayley and Sasha to retain the women's tag team titles, which I don't think was a shock because they had just won them. Were they really going to take them off?
And it also went on to last night's NXT to put them on the line against Shotzi Blackheart and Tegan Knox as well, but that's a story for a different time.
Well, actually, we'll get into that because it affects what goes on recently. Yes, would go on to NXT to defend against Tegan Knox and Shotzi Blackheart. However, on Raw, the Iconics came out and basically challenged Bayley and Sasha due to basically being the team that didn't have the pinfall or submission.
Yeah,
so
pretty much.
Sasha and Bayley retained against Knox and Blackheart last night and will go on to defend against the Iconics this coming Monday.
Yes. Now we move on to a match from the SmackDown brand.
Yes, it is the Junkie, if you depending whose side you're on, going against the Irish Rogue.
In Sheamus, as Sheamus took on Jeff Hardy. In a rivalry that has become very personal.
Storyline-wise, you would think that they would give the win to Jeff Hardy here, and they still might give the actual feud to Jeff Hardy, depending if it continues on to Extreme Rules, which, by the way, comes at us in a couple of weeks.
Yes, so let us explain how this match went down before we tell you the winner.
So both of them come out. Sheamus spent the majority of the match targeting the knee of Jeff Hardy.
Yes.
And performed white noise for the near fall.
There was a lot of near falls because this match was around 16 minutes.
Yes, this match was actually the longest match on the card, with the exception of the greatest wrestling match ever.
Which we'll be getting on to soon.
So, yes, Sheamus performed white noise for the near fall. Then we would have Hardy perform his patented, initial his brother, Twist of Fate and Swanton Bomb. And Sheamus managed to get a foot on the ropes to break up the 3 count. And then disaster would strike.
Literally.
Because Jeff Hardy would go for the drive-by, not that kind of drive-by, off of the barricade, only to be caught with a bro kick in midair.
Ow.
Then Sheamus would get Hardy back into the ring and hit a second bro kick and get the 3 count to win the match.
So yes, a bit of a surprising result.
But again, just if they have plans to extend this rivalry through to Extreme Rules, I think Hardy may take it overall.
Yeah, very true. But now we're going back to Monday Night Raw, and this is for the Raw Women's Championship, as Asuka puts her Raw Women's title on the line against someone who's got backstage heat, Nia Jax.
None of that to say here. I mean, both of these women would hit. Asuka is a submission specialist.
While Nia Jax is power.
Is power, and but still does have some submission holds. And as we saw in the closing minutes of this match, after
around
8 minutes and 25 seconds, as they applied submission moves to each other and attacked each other outside of the ring, and did not answer the referee's count of 10, forcing this match to end in a double countout. However,
which means
that Asuka retained the championship. However, the following night on Monday Night Raw, they would have a rematch.
which was a tiny little bit of controversy.
Yes, this match, the rematch on Raw was mostly dominated by Nia Jax. And was it a Samoan drop?
Something like that.
That Jax managed to hit onto Asuka, and only for Asuka to kick out at 2. This would cause Nia to get very frustrated
With referee John Coe.
and shove the referee. Big mistake.
John Coe was about to disqualify Asuka when roller 1, 2, 3.
Yes, John Cone was about to call for the disqualification because you do not put your hands on the official.
No.
When Asuka rolled up Nia Jax and won via a pinfall there. See, the pinfall seemed to be a tiny bit fast.
But that's a different argument for a different scenario, for a different time. Now we go back to SmackDown.
Yes. Who wants to get these hands?
As Braun Strowman defends the Universal Championship in a 2-on-1 handicap match against the Dirt Sheet. Now, this match had a very interesting stipulation, just like the Women's Tag Team Triple Threat match.
And just like the match that Braun Strowman had at the Elimination Chamber, out of Miz and Morrison, whoever pinned Braun Strowman would become the Universal Champion.
And that would be clearly be presentable to see during the match.
Yes, that would come into play in the conclusion of this match, because for the most part, Strowman got a bit of offense in, but they seem to play into the fact that Miz and Morrison are a tag team throughout most of this match, and would use classic tag team wrestling.
Yeah.
However, at the end, we saw what was it, a skull crushing finale, like double kick combination type move.
Onto Strowman.
John Morrison would go for the pin on Braun Strowman, only for almost instinct to kick in for the Miz, and he would pull Morrison off the cover.
Much to Morrison's shock.
I think this was instinct of it being a triple threat match, which, by the way, it was not.
Yes.
So, whilst that happens, this allows Strowman to get back into it. He disposes of the Miz, and he disposes of the Miz with a choke slam and hits the running power slam onto John Morrison to retain the Universal Championship.
Yes. Now we go back to Monday Night Raw.
Yes, it is now time for the WWE Championship match, as for the first time since the Great American Bash of 2007, the almighty Bobby Lashley
Being up into the ring by MVP.
challenges for the WWE Championship against the Scottish Psychopath, Drew McIntyre. Now, this was spots left, right and centre here.
Yep.
Due to a distraction by MVP, Lashley would apply the full Nelson before the match had even started. When the match actually did start, Lashley would dominate McIntyre for the early going and have multiple pinfall attempts, only for McIntyre to kick out. And McIntyre, just like he did at WrestleMania, occasionally would kick out at one, which would frustrate Lashley.
Immensely frustrate.
Yes, outside of the ring, Lashley would throw McIntyre into the ring post and attempt for a spear. Not your stick, Lashley.
That's it.
Well, it kind of is, but kind of isn't. It's only for McIntyre to counter and throw Lashley into the barricade.
Yes.
Back in the ring, Lashley would perform a spine buster. Again, not just stick.
Yes, and during this match, when...
Wait for that.
Yeah.
Following the spine buster, Lashley would again kick out at one. Can you imagine the fans' reaction if Roman Reigns was to kick out at one? Not that that would make too much of a difference at the minute, but that's beside the point.
Yes.
Then Lashley would be frustrated again, as he was going for a full Nelson. McIntyre countered into the Alabama Slam. Haven't seen that move in a while.
Same here.
For a near fall. And Lashley would again go for a spear, only to be countered into the Kimura Rock. Who does he think he is?
Brock Lesnar.
Then Lashley would... Then here, Lashley's storyline, I do suggest storyline. Well, actually, before that, Lashley did actually manage to hit the spear after countering the Claymore attempt.
Yes.
But then here, Lashley's storyline, wife, Russian Lana, would come out and argue with the referee. This would allow Drew McIntyre to perform a Glasgow kiss onto Bobby Lashley, causing Lana to go to follow up into MVP, and Drew McIntyre to finally hit the Claymore to attain the WWE Championship.
And much to the annoyance of McIntyre, well, Lashley and MVP.
Who would ask for a divorce the following night on Raw, and it seems like they may do this match again at Extreme Rules.
And before we get on to the greatest wrestling match, we need to discuss a certain debacle involving the Raw Tag Team Championship and the Viking Raiders.
During this whole show, and after our pre-show, which is typical fashion for this company, they advertised a Raw Tag Team Championship match between the Street Profits and the Viking Raiders, which we kind of suspected was a long time coming, considering the so-called anything you can do, we can do better segments we've been having on Raw. But this is what happened here.
Yeah, how do we begin this?
Both teams ended up brawling outside of the performance center
Yeah.
in the parking lot, where Montez Ford would throw Ivor into Braun Strowman's car. Big mistake.
Very big mistake, and then decided to run away, as you would.
The two teams fought in a walkway where Ivor was thrown into
Some kind of object.
through a bowling ball into Montez Ford's.
Ouch!
Both teams were then weirdly interrupted by Akira Tozawa and a group of ninjas. Yes, you heard us correctly.
A group of ninjas. What the hell are you thinking, WWE? They then decided to team up and call themselves the Viking Prophets.
Yes, and then proceeded to beat the ninjas to death.
And even had Ivar at one point summoning a piece of chicken like it was Thor's Mjolnir hammer.
Yes, after fighting off the ninjas, Akira Tozawa basically ran off.
And then the stupid
Except he summoned a 7-foot-tall ninja
Oh yes, it's about the similar size of the Great Khali.
who came out with some kind of weird sword.
Yes.
And then they fought on top of a production truck
In which all 4 teams fell off the truck into a pile of garbage.
into a dumpster, yes.
And once again, we have the cute line.
And then the WWE referee Jessica Carr then appeared and told them that their match was next and they were supposed to be
In the ring.
in the ring. And then we had this stupid line which has been going on throughout their rivalry.
Yeah.
The segment ended with both teams being spooked by some kind of tentacle career. And then the
Monster that was going to eat them inside the trash can.
And then the announce team confirmed that this match wasn't happening. However, it will happen on the June 22nd episode of Raw this coming week.
Yes, but now it's time to discuss the greatest wrestling match ever between Edge and Randy Orton.
Oh, so we call it the greatest nostalgia match ever.
Where do we start with this?
Well, both superstars come out to the ring.
With actual entrances.
Referee for this match, Charles Robinson, is dressed in the old referee gear with a blue shirt
Light blue shirt with the black shorts and black trousers.
and black bow tie.
Mm-hmm.
They then bring down the old Madison Square Garden microphone that was used for WrestleMania 1.
Then we heard the voice of the ghost of Howard Finkel.
Yes, the introductions for this match was done by the late great Howard Finkel. And
How they did that?
the ghost of Howard Finkel, we should say. Then the match gets underway.
And this is where things get complicated.
Yes, what do we see here? This match lasted, because it lasted, 40, close to 45 minutes. There is absolutely no way we can go through this bit by bit. So
Bear in mind that this match was pre-recorded back on June the 7th.
Here we had RKO's out of everywhere.
Literally.
Spears.
We also had
Randy Orton hitting a angle slam.
yeah.
Edge would also hit the kill switch, paying tribute to his longtime friend Christian, who we shall get on to in a second.
Yes.
We also had Randy Orton hit a pedigree, paying tribute to his mentor and Evolution teammate Triple H.
Then Edge decided to steal a bit about your playbook.
Yeah, Edge would then go deeper into a trick of Arsenal and come out of nowhere with a rock bottom.
And did you give permission to Edge to do that? Probably not.
Nope. So then it kind of got into a who's gonna win this.
Yeah.
The closing moments of this match was a low blow involved here.
I don't think so, but I know Edge was going to the steel steps, and we'll get on to the reason why would that happened.
But after a RKO and good old fashioned punt to the head,
which I haven't used in God knows how long.
the winner of this match was Randy Orton.
Yes, after a good old-fashioned punt to the head. Now, we mentioned Edge into the steel steps. Well, unfortunately, during the match, Edge suffered a nasty injury.
Yes. We're not 100% sure which segment in the match it happened, but Edge suffered a torn tricep injury, which will keep him now out of action for up to 8 months. That is, of course, unless he develops John Cena healing powers.
And you heard us mention about Christian. Now let us mention what happened to Christian on this week's Monday Night Raw.
Yes. Randy Orton comes out and brags about his match. They even mention Edge's injury and how we're not likely to see him for 9 years. 9 months is closer to the
Actual one.
Then Christian comes out and they'd have words back and forth.
And then out of nowhere, I challenged Christian to a non-sanctioned match on Monday Night Raw.
Yes.
Knowing full well that Christian isn't medically cleared.
Yes, and a non-sanctioned match would be the only way that WWE would allow Christian to come back into the ring. Because then WWE would have no
Responsibility
as to what happened. Throughout the show, we saw Christian talking to people like Ric Flair and The Big Show, who decided to get involved in this whole thing with Street Profits and Viking Raiders and Ninjas.
Turning back face in the process as well.
Then we get to the main event segment. And Christian isn't even in his street clothes.
Yes.
So then Ric Flair comes out, says this isn't happening.
Christian says, I've got to do this. Stay out of my way, Rick.
Low blow, punt to the head, that's pretty much it.
Yes, Ric Flair, low blow Christian, right in the ding-dong.
Whether this is going to lead to something more or not, we don't know. But let's run through the Backlash results again.
Starting with
The pre-show where Apollo Crews retained the United States Championship.
Bayley and Sasha Banks retained their Women's Tag Team Championships against Alexa Bliss, Nikki Cross, and against the Iconics.
Jeff Hardy defeated Sheamus defeated Jeff Hardy. As in, well, I want to.
The Asuka Nia Jax match ended in a double countout, and Asuka is still your Raw Women's Champion as a result.
Braun Strowman defeated The Miz and John Morrison to retain the Universal Championship.
Drew McIntyre retained the WWE Championship against Bobby Lashley.
And Randy Orton defeated Edge in the greatest wrestling match ever.
So that about does it for the Backlash post-show and Backlash in general.
Join us next week, where we shall be switching companies for the 2-week event.
Yes, and we will not mention the company's name on air, because it's a company we dare not be mentioning.
But until then,
Until then, he's been
Reese Rock Jones, and he's been
Sean Rodney Smith. We will see you soon. Oh, how close was that?